With his last $100, he flew from Hawaii to Los Angeles and spent his remaining cash for a cab to the Beverly Hills Hotel to meet with Cleveland Amory of the Fund for Animals. He emerged later with seed money to go buy a ship.
He was trying to get financing for his first Sea Shepherd, and he didn't have enough money. So he asked my wife and I, who just bought a house, whether we would help him out. So we did. We put up our house as part of the collateral for him to get his boat.
Finally, whales, dolphins, and creatures of the sea had their own navy. And with a little money in the form of contributions, he set about to right some wrongs. One of the first and most impressive campaigns was when Paul's ship pursued and rammed the pirate whaler Sierra outside a harbor in Portugal, and ultimately sank it dockside. By offering bribes to crew members of whalers and information to authorities, all pirate whaling in the Atlantic was terminated. A stunning victory for any nation, let alone one man with a small group of volunteers. Robert Hunter resigned from the board of Greenpeace and began serving aboard Paul's ship. So the politics took second place to the cause.
For 10 years now, they've been trying to negotiate getting rid of the drift nets. They put out about a million and possibly 2 million miles of net every season. It's about 30,000 miles of net every night.
Drift netting is to the oceans what the burning of the rainforest is, for instance, to Brazil. It is an extremely destructive exploitation of marine ecosystems. Not only are they taking incredible amounts of fish and squid, but the incidental kill caused by these nets include over 500,000 marine mammals and over 1 million seabirds every year.
One theory is that they've invested so much in the equipment to catch the dwindling fish populations that they are so in debt to the bank that they have to catch more and more fish to pay off this debt. And it's a vicious circle which is leading to the extinction of entire species.
And all the negotiations in the world haven't stopped them so far in the North Pacific. So Captain Watson had decided that negotiation time was over and it was time to go in there and make a very specific statement.
One of the most effective tactics in order to stop a ship on the high seas is to just run into it and disable it, cause it enough damage so that it has to go back into port.
I got a souvenir. What? I threw this at us.
But what gives you the right to take the law into your own hands?
The United Nations Charter for Nature gives us the right, and under its section on implementation says that any individual organization is empowered to uphold the terms of the Charter.
But surely you don't contend that the United Nations is supporting what you're doing?
Absolutely. According to the United Nations Charter for Nature, they are, in fact, supporting what we're doing.
Let's take the garden into our own hands. Soak our yards in color. Get our hands a little busier, our dollars a little stronger, and our thinking a little greener. Let's grab all the bags and all the plants and all the latest tools out there so we can turn all these savings into more colorful shades of doing. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. We've made a special buy on perennials, 5 for just $10.
My dog isn't a pet, he's family. So why are these big-name dog food brands telling me I'm feeding him the best stuff when I'm really not? Come on.
My bag of old pet food had pictures of chicken on it, but look at the ingredients. Corn gluten, chicken byproduct meal. Where's the meat?
Pet parents are learning the truth about the ingredients in some of the leading dog food brands and turning instead to natural and holistic dog food from Blue Buffalo. Real meat is always the first ingredient in Blue. Plus, Blue contains whole grains, veggies, and fruit.
Blue has this great thing on their website, the True Blue Test. I compared my old brand to Blue. I was like, wow, I can't believe the great stuff in Blue that's not in my dog's food.
And only Blue has Life Source Bits, a blend of antioxidants and nutrients that are cold formed for greater potency. Don't be fooled by the big name dog food brands. Compare their ingredients to the ones in Blue and learn the truth at TrueBlueTest.com. If you have a small breed dog, look for Blue dry and canned foods formulated to support the special needs of small breed puppies, adults, and seniors. All made with our exclusive.
So I'm thinking about getting internet from the phone company.
Don't do it.
What?
It's okay. I'm with pals.
People against lousy service.
Yeah, we believe you deserve to know that Cox has the #1 internet service that blows DSL away. Plus, it gives you power boost for an extra burst of speed.
You're my hero.
I'm not a hero. I'm a hot dog.
Over the years, its name has become synonymous with performance. It's even received the J.D. Power and Associates Award for overall customer satisfaction in the West. It's Cox Digital Telephone.
Yeah, honey, the washing machine is exploding! Call me back.
For performance, convenience, and savings, there's always Cox Digital Telephone.
May 4th, 2007. Greensburg, Kansas is completely destroyed by a tornado. They vowed to rebuild. Now, 3 years later, it's the final chapter of this town's incredible transformation.
Not gonna have a tornado ever again.
You'll be amazed at what they accomplished.
Everything is gonna be okay.
The series finale of Greensburg, a 2-night mini-series event, premieres tomorrow at 8 on Planet Green.
Sometimes I think he goes a little overboard on the militia sort of warlike thing. I remember when I dubbed him the self-styled Rambo of the environmental movement. I think that's the mold that he likes to fit into.
I can't abide doing nothing. So yes, indeed, I'm an activist, and if Pat doesn't like that, well, you know, that's the reason Pat's a corporate and I'm not.
We knew what the risks were when we went in there, but I mean, here you had the Soviet Union that was illegally killing whales in violation of the International Whaling Commission regulations, and then they were reporting to the International Whaling Commission that it was an Aboriginal hunt, and that was their justification. And I became quite suspicious how the Aboriginal communities in Siberia had their quotas rise from 20 to over 200 in just a couple of years. It certainly wasn't a big population explosion of native villages in Siberia. And what we suspected was the reason, in fact we proved was the reason. They had set up large commercial fur farms and were catching the whales and using it as a cheap meat to raise sable, fox, and mink. And for 45 minutes we filmed and photographed everything until one of them came up and looked at me and he said, "Stoeto, you know, what is that?" And I said, "It's a zodiac, it's a zodiac." And then he says, "It's a Mercury." And then I realized that they didn't have these Mercury outboard engines. And I said, "Just push this boat off." And I pushed it out and kept my back to the soldier, and he said, "Well, he's about to take his gun down." I said, "Well, smile and wave at him," you know, the psychology being nobody's going to shoot at people who are smiling and waving at them. And later, when we were pursued by the helicopter gunships and a destroyer, and the destroyer came up alongside and he said, "Stop your ship and prepare to be boarded by the Soviet Union." I said, "We don't have room for the Soviet Union, we're not stopping for you."
In the prosperous Faroe Islands, ancestors of Vikings herd pilot whales into harbors and killed them with hooks and knives. A small ancient population used to do it for food, and they would celebrate their success with singing and dancing. They don't dance anymore, and they brutally kill much more than they eat. It's a bloody event. Paul and his crew cannot leave alone.
You are under arrest. You are under arrest. Will you please stop your engine?
That was a tear gas shell, and because it impacted right against my head.
What do you think of this fellow that's out there trying to ram you?
Stupid. Sea Shepard scuttled a Norwegian whaling vessel at dockside, and Norway got irritable.
Put out a mayday that we're under attack by the Norwegian Navy. We request assistance from any nation. Over. They just did it. Stand by, you'll hear the explosion.
I think they missed us.
Did you hear that?
They're sinking the ship. Jimmy, let me speak to somebody right away now.
Tell them that the president's going to look like a complete when they sink this ship and the State Department says they're not firing.
They're threatening our lives. They threatened to
sink this ship. They have fired on us twice. They have rammed us at full speed. They have caused damage. They are acting like pirates here, and of course that's understandable because they're defending pirate whaling activities. Now, when people called us pirates, I said, you know, I don't really mind that too much. In fact, we redesigned our flag, so we've now got our own Jolly Roger. And I said I don't mind that too much because if you go back to the 1600s and look at the situation then when piracy was running rampant in the Caribbean, well, it wasn't the British or the Spanish governments that did anything to bring piracy under control. And the reason being is that they were all on the take. So who stopped the pirates in the Caribbean? Henry Morgan, a pirate.
Paul renamed his ship Farley Mowat. Farley was a World War II hero and has written almost 40 books chronicling the destruction of the natural world. It was easy to understand why Farley could be both an inspiration and father figure to Paul, who must often feel alone in his efforts.
Really, essentially special quality is that he doesn't think of himself as a human being. He thinks of himself as a living entity amongst myriads of living entities.
Now, I have absolutely no use for religion, any religion, whether it be you know, the anthropocentric religions or the so-called earth religions.
He thinks that he and I and my dog and a seal on the ice or a whale in the ocean or a flea on a dog's back are all equally important elements in an enormously complex skein of life, weaving. Because he can do that, and because he does do that, he can remain honest.
I do believe that in natural laws, the laws of ecology, the laws of nature, and that everything must go in accordance with those laws. You cannot break nature's laws. You can't break the law of gravity. You can't break the law of thermodynamics. You can't break the law of entropy. And ecological laws are an aspect of that, and you can't break them either. You can break them for a certain period of time, but then it will all come back on you. And there's 4 basic laws of ecology. The law of biodiversity or diversity, that a strength of an ecosystem depends upon the diversity of species within it. The law of interdependence, that all of those species are interdependent upon each other. The law of finite resources, that there is a limit to growth and only enough resources to support any groups of species living within that interdependent biodiverse system. And of course there's the 4th law, which every animal understands except for humans and their domestic animals, is you know, you don't in the water hole. And we tend to not only do that, but put 88,000 man-made chemicals into the water hole every year.
Sea Shepherd has wandered from office to office for years. Now they have a permanent facility on Friday Harbor, an island off the coast of Washington. Paul's personal office is in a former Zen meditation structure. Surrounded by memorabilia, Paul has time to think, write, and plan. Much is comfortable at Friday Harbor, but Paul gets restless and is happiest when undertaking a campaign at sea. Next up was a voyage to Costa Rica to sign an environmental treaty authorizing Sea Shepherd to help protect the World Heritage Site Cocos Island.
He's made his ships available to the civil authorities. I think Paul's main achievement in the long run will have been to have moved environmentalism from a protest movement to the beginnings of an international police force.
On the way to Costa Rica, Paul intercepted a longliner from that country, illegally catching and finning sharks off the coast of Guatemala. Taiwanese destined the fins for shipment to Asia for shark fin soup. Tens of millions of sharks are killed annually to satisfy this destructive indulgence, depleting necessary shark populations by 70 to 90%. These Costa Rican fishermen are poor, but the fleet owners are not, and the Taiwanese who buy the fins are wealthy. The fishermen go out in rickety boats and exhaust the waters surrounding their impoverished countries.
Their houses are money pits because their houses are trash pits.
My family is very wasteful. Sorry, landfill.
Now Annabelle's here
Hey, kids.
to clean house.
I would like to do a little experiment. We will calculate how much money you save and give you that in cash.
Little changes made a big difference.
We should have done this longer ago.
Wasted. An all-new episode, Wednesday at 8. on Planet Green.
What's worse, mosquitoes or mosquito spray?
Try off Clip-On Personal Mosquito Repellent. Lab tests show this sprayless repellent really repels. In minutes, its fan surrounds you with proven off protection wherever you're sitting. So don't spray it on, clip it on a table, chair, anywhere. Off Clip-On keeps bugs off. S.C. Johnson, a family company.
Honda Accord and Toyota Camry stand behind their powertrain for up to 60,000 miles. Chevy Malibu stands behind theirs for up to 100,000 miles, which makes it pretty clear who's standing out front. The Consumer's Digest Best Buy 2 years running. Chevy Malibu. Compare it to anyone, and may the best car win. During the spring event, qualified lessees can get a low-mileage lease on this new Malibu LS for around $199 a month. Call for details. See your local Chevy dealer.
Hi, I'm Isabella, and this is pasta night at our house. What is it about spaghetti and meatballs? I mean, it's a fun night. And the whole dinner is from Great Value at Walmart, and it's all for less than $2 a serving. I have a budget like anyone else. This is what I did with mine.
With hundreds of new rollbacks on Great Value, choose from lots of meals for less than $2 a serving. It's rollback time. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Attention Medicare recipients. The following is important news from Hoveround. With Medicare and your supplemental insurance, a powered chair costs you little or nothing out of pocket. That's true for most powered chairs. But when you choose Hoveround, you get a better powered chair. How is it better? Just ask these questions. Is it round? Hoveround is the only round powered chair. That makes it easier for you to get around the tight spaces in your home.
I love how easy it is to maneuver.
Is it reliable? At Hoveround, we make your chair, deliver your chair for free, and service your chair right in your home. No one else can say all that. Last question. Is it affordable? Here's what most Hoveround customers pay.
Zero. I paid nothing for the unit at all.
Call Hoveround today, and you'll receive a free phone mobility consultation, a free DVD information kit, and free delivery to your home.
Go to hoveround.com or call 1-800-984-9541. That's 1-800-984-9541.
Cox Digital Telephone and Cox Advanced TV work better together, bringing you advanced features like TV Caller ID. TV Caller ID is the latest technology from Cox. Now, whenever someone calls, their name pops up right on your TV screen. See who's calling without leaving the couch. Best of all, TV Caller ID is free when you bundle. Just another way Cox products work better together. Missing one or need both? Get Cox Digital Telephone with Caller ID plus Cox Advanced TV free for your first 3 months. Call now to order. Cox Digital Telephone and Cox Advanced TV work better together, bringing you advanced features like TV Caller ID. TV Caller ID is the latest technology from Cox. Now, whenever someone calls, their name pops up right on your TV screen. See who's calling without leaving the couch. Best of all, TV Caller ID is free when you bundle. Just another way Cox products work better together. Missing one or need both? Get Cox Digital Telephone with Caller ID plus Cox Advanced TV free for your first 3 months. Call now to order.
I immediately called up the Guatemalan embassy and asked for advice. They said, could you bring them in? I said, certainly, I'd be glad to. And then we escorted them into Guatemala. The next morning, I'm suddenly contacted by the port captain for San Jose to say I will be arrested when I bring them in. They will not. Because in that 24-hour period, the owner of this vessel, the Veradero 1, obviously had got to the port captain and money changed hands, and now I was the pirate, even though I was acting on the advice of the Guatemalan government. So I said, okay, I'm out of here. I go to a meeting and have dinner with the Minister of the Environment, the outgoing Minister of the Environment, meet the outgoing President of Costa Rica, and, you know, everybody's shaking my hands. Glad you're here. The next day, a judge and a prosecutor come on board, and I suddenly find myself charged with attempted murder and destruction of property.
I'm the prosecutor in Costa Rica, so she is the judge. Do you have a book with a roll?
Yeah, which one?
Take this book.
Officer.
Yeah. And the GPS.
This order doesn't say clearly they can do it, but they can do it right now.
According to the fishermen, I came out of nowhere, rammed their vessel 6 times, and attempted to kill them. First of all, if I had to ram them once, they would have been sunk. Second of all, if it was my intent to kill them, they would be dead. And I said, well, just take a look at the film. And it showed us everything we did. So they looked at it and dropped the charges. I was free to go. 2 days later, they get a new prosecutor and a new judge to relay the charge.
Any ID could some information about you?
I have a driver's license.
The authorities spent hours vainly searching for incriminating
The disgusting porn